From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. BP. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted, you know the story. You know what we're here for. You know what we're about. What's good? How is family doing tonight? It is Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Big shout out to my big sister, Karen, down in Indianapolis area. They live in the Westfield area now. On her big birthday, my older sis, happy birthday. She has no idea that I'm saying that because she doesn't listen to this show. She doesn't have anything to do or any knowledge of this show. But I feel like I need to. My big sis, happy birthday to you. Hey, we are halfway through the month of April. And I feel like I'm still figuring this new kind of thing out, what I'm doing here as far as the revamp, as I look around my screen here, the revamp of the show and different things. So bear with me. I'm always trying new things. I had planned by now to be able to incorporate some sponsorship stuff into some ads and things like that. I'm still sorting those out so I can set those things up. I'm trying to do it in such a way that the people, the companies, the brothers companies and whatnot that I'm going to be talking about or that I'm going to advertise for or mention can actually provide me kind of with their lingo and what they want me to say to help sponsor them. So some of those have been kind of the back and forth has been a little bit slow. So hopefully in the coming days, weeks, I'll be able to get more information from any of our brothers out there that would like to be mentioned down here with a sponsorship thing. I've got a plan of attack on how I can do that so that it's very simple. So if you know anybody else that's, I have a handful of people that I've been speaking with, but always can do more. I want to promote different businesses that our brothers are involved in. If you work for something else, I don't really know if we need to do that specifically, but if you own something, then for sure. We're going to do that. But hey, guys, this has been a fun couple of weeks for me. And I'll just go into that a little bit as we start off here for episode 172. As many of you know, 2 weeks ago, we had our second part, our follow-up with the initial phase message asking the question of what's your why? Why do you do what you want to do? All that thing. What drives you? What pushes you in BV? And then we got to speak with Danny down in Miami. Had a great conversation where he had some really good points, some truth bombs, some things that many people I think need to hear out there as far as the way that he and the way that Miami kind of push things. By all means, not saying that they are the only way, not by any means saying that everybody needs to follow their path and follow what they've done, but they have a very successful landscape down there and what they've done and ways that they've been able to, model their business model in such a way that they've been able to do a lot of really cool things down there. And I know myself, and I know in talking to many other people within BV that a lot of people mention Miami as well as a few other chapters out there about, I wish we could do things like them. I wish we could, and that's all great. And you never, I mean, I always say, don't compare yourself to XYZ chapter. You want to put your own, stamp on things. You want to make your own mark. But the business practices, the way that they handle things, I think are kind of eye opening and can be something that we can all learn from. In that, as he mentioned in that episode in 172, and if you never listened to or watched episode 172, I encourage you, or 171, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. It was 2 weeks ago. Didn't have an episode last week because I was on vacation. But episode 171, he had just listened to the Danny interview, and he had a lot of really good points. And one of the biggest takeaways I think I pulled out of that was a great reminder to realize that we have to do the little things. And that doesn't just necessarily mean little things in life or little things. It means from the business end of things, where you want to be successful as a chapter, and you have to be willing to do the grunt stuff, the little things, the events, or attending events or hosting things that only it feels like maybe only a handful of people are attending or a handful of people are there for. You may not get a profit out of it, but it's all going toward a greater good. And we have in the conversation I have tonight with Ray, talking about the successes of past events, and then also moving into DSV, which is what we're coming up on a week from this weekend. He reminds us again that, and it goes back to what Danny said as well, that the reason that you're able to be successful, the reason that you're able to do some of the things that you're able to do, is because of all of those baby steps, all the relationships you started, all the things that didn't at the time maybe seem like a big deal, but all of those little things add up to future successes. And you can't shortcut that. You can't shortchange that. And you can wish all day long that you're going to just turn around and be super successful and be able to raise all this money and things, but it has to start somewhere. And so that was one of the greatest messages I thought I brought out of that interview, that I took away from it, was just that reminder. And so, like I said, I encourage you guys to go back and listen to that if you haven't listened to that before. This week, we are going to be speaking, as I said, with Ray, bringing home all of the knowledge. He gives us a couple of surprises, I think, about the upcoming DSV down in Miami. And of course, that starts on the 21st. And I think it's definitely worth listening to, guys, because if you are going, you want to pay attention and be aware of a few things, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a pretty epic weekend. I am pretty bummed that I could not make this one work. When they first announced it, I said, yes, can't wait. I was there for the big meet 2 years ago and had a blast and wanted to come back, and that just didn't work out for me this year. So I'm looking forward to living vicariously through all of you guys that are able to go and to see videos and pictures. And this is going to be a fun one because I know I've been there before, so I can imagine it. And so it's not a situation where I just look at your videos and pictures and go, wonder what that's like. I know what it's like. And I'll be bummed because I'm not there, but I'm excited because I know there's a handful of you guys out there that have not been to this location, have not been to the place where the main event is going to be on Saturday. And I'm stoked for you because it's a very cool place. And your jaw's going to drop if you've never been there before. That's all I can say. It's going to be awesome. So those of you guys that are going to your first one at the Lagoon, it's going to be a blast. So excited for you. I only have a handful of things to talk about this week, as far as I only have a couple things to bring back up, mentioning merch items. So we're kind of in this weird limbo stage right now where a few chapters are prepping for different things. I know I've spoken with guys from different chapters that they're in the works, and we're working on some chapter merch. We're working on this thing or whatever it is. Some chapters have done pre-sales that have expired, so I'm not including them. I'm hoping I'm not leaving anybody out. But if for some reason your chapter is in the process right now of doing a pre-sale and or trying to get some merch out there that I don't mention, and I'm only mentioning 2 chapters tonight because that's all I have. You know how things go on the world of Instagram. Sometimes that algorithm messes with you, and suddenly people and organizations and chapters that you saw once, that you constantly you would see in your feed all the time, something happens, and now you have to search for them, and you start getting all these ads and things in there. That IG was always the easiest thing for me to do when I first started the show, because I scroll through there and I'd see all the different chapters, all the guys sharing stuff, and it was right there. And they didn't seem to have all the different ads that pop up in there now. Now you get all sorts of crazy crap in your feed that's trying to recommend stuff to you. And I'm just like, don't, just give me all the people I follow. How about that? And it takes away people. So I've lost out on, I think, over the last 6-8 months to a year, um, a lot of the things that I would normally come across on my own. Now I have to depend on you guys, the listeners, to hit me up and say, hey, we got this thing going. We got this thing going. So, and when you do, I throw it in. So, like I said, please let me know what some of that is. Without any fanfare or anything else, let me just mention real quick the ones that I do have listed here, the same ones that I mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I just want to shout out to them. That's because that's what I got. Lakeshore, as of April 1st at noon is when these things went on sale. I hope you guys grabbed some of these as quickly as you could. I have no idea if some of these items are the kind of things that are going to sell out. I know as I'm speaking live right now, Mars is on the show. He's listening, so he can maybe chime in the notes in the comment section if any specific item that they released on the 1st is sold out, because I've got a picture on the screen right now that's showing a whole boatload of different items. And so I'd hate for you to feel that something's sold out if it's not. But most of their stuff is kind of at will, order at will type of stuff. So they have a lot of really cool stuff, some new items that you may not have seen before, including a couple different poker chips that are very cool. So head on over there to lakeshorevillains.com and see what you can see to get that stuff going. lakeshorevillains.com as we're going to go for the merch for Lakeshore. Very cool stuff. And then also coming up, the pre-sale is ending. It is ending next weekend, I believe, for this bad shirt from the Bearded Villains Wales chapter. Beardiff 2023 pre-sale official t-shirt, 15 pounds. Remember, it's pounds. Pre-sale until 2023, or April 2023 of the 20th April of 2023. Anyway, get over there to their bio, Bearded Villains Wales chapter, for their shirt. I believe, yeah, I already told you the price. So 15 pounds for that bad boy. So that's what I got so far on the merch. I'm hoping that I didn't leave anybody out that's active. I'm sure I did. So again, I apologize. If somebody chimes in to the comment section as we go, I will mention that as well to the listening audience. Mars chimed in. I knew he would. I knew I could count on him. He says, only the poker chips are limited, but we still have some. Perfect. 2 different varieties of poker chips, as I saw. They're in there. So that's what you get. All right. I do want to give a shout out to the handful of people that are in the comments section, because I love having the discussions that are here. And we don't quite get the lengthy discussions as we used to was when the countdown timer started like 15 minutes before the show. We'd have some fun conversations of many people before the show. Now the thing just gives you about 2.5 minutes, and then we kick right into it, which I think is better because some people don't just want to sit around, right? So again, I want to say hi to Mars hanging out with us. I know he's one of the ones that's planning on going down to DSV. He is super excited about it. Rob, Mr. Fettis, how you doing? Good to see you here. It's been a while, he says. Good to see you. Mr. Dahlstrom from up here in Northern Indiana. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Mr. Trent, Andy, how you doing? Good to see you here as well. Mr. Ramsey, David, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Buddy is hanging out with us as well. Good evening to Buddy. Youngster 614, Youngster, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit. I've been to some events that you have not been to, so I don't know where you've been. Need to get somewhere. I say that, but we're just talking about the fact that I'm not going to DSV, so maybe you are. I don't know. I'll see you again sometime soon. All right, guys. Well, I just want to slide. We'll just get into this and this interview I had with Ray here, talking DSV, and also kind of cool. He gives us a little update on some of the stuff that they have been up to, in the last 6 months or so. Some of the partnerships. He kind of also in the interview, kind of just refreshes our memory a little bit about what their charity endeavor, Villain's Wish, is all about. Very cool. So pay close attention to that. That's a pretty cool thing. And as Danny originally mentioned, there's some cool things. Everything's cool, right? There's some really unique things going on with DSV this year that they have set up for them, and you don't want to miss out on some of this stuff for sure. So my interview here with Ray, let's just get right into it and see what he's saying about what's going on in South Florida, and they're getting ready for DSV. Okay, everybody. Next weekend is we're back again in Miami for another DSV weekend. DSV in Miami. That sounds amazing. And we're going to talk to a brother who's going to tell us all about it. Now, last episode, we had Danny on talking truth bombs and all sorts of goodness, and he hinted and talked a little bit about some of the plans for DSV. But today, greeting you all and to tell us all about the plans, the details, all the fun stuff, and who knows, maybe we'll get him to divulge a surprise or two if there's anything out there like that. We're bringing in Ray today. How you doing, Ray?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, I am, first of all, and I told this to Danny too, I'm super bummed because I'm not able to make it this year. When I heard that you guys are going to be hosting DSV, I thought, oh, that's going to be perfect. I can't wait. And then, you know how stuff happens, man. And then the schedule doesn't open up and you have, it's family stuff pops off and you're like, should I really try to press it and see if I can make it work? And is it worth the is it worth going into the doghouse like I might? No, it's not. Family, gotta do the family stuff first.
Sleeping, sleeping in the podcast room.
Yeah, no, I'd sleep down here every night, down in the studio. No, it would be like I'd be out in the shed in the backyard or something like that, probably, if not worse. So unfortunately, DSV's out for me, buddy. But I know it like anything else you guys put on. It's going to be amazing, and we'll get into that stuff in just a minute. But I got to first ask, what's life been like down for you guys in Miami the last several months since we've kind of heard from you? Well, I think last time I ran into a lot of your guys down in or up in Chicago at World Meet. What's life been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's been pretty good, man. Like we've thrown our hat into raising funds this year as far as the Villains Wish. So we've been really focused on just having community events where we're able to collaborate with another organization or another individual. Last month, when we did the picnic for Alfie, which is an annual thing that we've been participating in uh, for the past 7 years, which is one of our members, one of our old members that used to be part of the club. His family does it every year, and we were able to raise a good amount of money, which went straight into the Villains Wish. So we're now able to do multiple wishes in a short period of time, which is excellent, which is amazing. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. We can't complain. You know, it's always uphill for us.
Yeah, you guys don't do a lot of complaining. You do a lot of problem solving instead. That's one of the things. One of the things I love about you guys. Well, for those that are unfamiliar, that haven't heard the term before, that haven't heard about it, I was going to ask you about it when we get into the details of the event weekend. But you've kind of already started us off and brought it up a little bit. For anybody that's not familiar, can you explain what Villain's Wish is? Because it's a very unique thing that you guys have, that you guys do a lot of good with.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know or do know, I'll explain it to you. We're a 501c3, uh, the Bearded Villains Miami. That happened about 3.5, 4 years ago. We decided to become a nonprofit, an official nonprofit, and our first, basically our, we had always done Make a Wish. Our first real charity event was Make a Wish, and we were able to raise $5,000, and we did it about three more times after that. About three more times. So we decided that once we became a nonprofit, we wanted to focus more on giving back to the future generation. Most of us, if not all of us, in the BB305 have kids, as well as myself. So being able to grant someone who is or has gone through some hard times in a short span, in a short lifespan, basically, because most of the kids that we've dealt with are, between the ages of 14 and 5. So it really hits close to home. Uh, we decided to name this project Villain's Wish. It goes hand in hand with what Make a Wish does, but we offer transparency. We have all overhead costs, comes out of pocket, our own pocket. So that means that 100% of all the proceeds that we raise goes straight into our organization, our nonprofit.
Amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff. So you guys now, Villain's Wish. You said that's been has that been as a project of yours? Has that been around now for a couple years, or is that since it's Villain's Wish? I mean, as that under that title, has it been just recent?
Under that title, we've done about, I want to say about 4 wishes, 4 or 5 wishes. That's recently started about 2 years ago, where we really, we wanted to hone in on what we wanted to do with our nonprofit title.
Yeah, yeah, and you guys have done some pretty incredible things too. And it's not. I think what's really cool is you guys kind of seek out. I want to say non-traditional, but it's not. It's not things that you would typically think of to give back to. How do you guys how do you come across those type of those choices that we decide we're going to do this or we're going to do that? Does somebody bring it to you? Does somebody nominate that? How does that work for you guys?
So one of our members, he has a great relationship with Nicholas Children's Hospital. Everybody knows about Gabe and little Gabby.
Yeah.
So they went through, a tough time a few years ago. Um, so they developed a great relationship with Nicholas Children, and we've been able to keep that relationship through them. And basically, sometimes we'll get families. Most of the times, it's families that are directly tied to something that they're doing at Nicholas Children's Hospital, which is the local children's hospital down here that's very well known, world renowned. Um, and it's families that their child is either doing some type of treatment or has gone through some type of treatment at the hospital. And
Okay.
just through that connection that we have with Gabe, we've been able to tie everything in.
Yeah, that's an incredible tie-in that you guys have that you're able to do that with that. I mean, that facility, because it in in today's age, it seems like you almost have to beg, borrow, and steal to try and find what you would deem worthy, either organizations or partnerships or places to donate to, because that information a lot of times, especially in a hospital setting where they keep everything so tight, and we can't talk about these people, we can't talk about our patients, or that kind of thing. It's like even doing something simple as saying, hey, let us know if you know of anybody in need. A lot of places are afraid to divulge that information because they don't want to, they think they're going to get in trouble for sharing that kind of information. So what a cool partnership you guys
Yeah,
have there.
yeah, that was one of the things with Make a Wish, which is not to take away anything from Make a Wish, because they've been doing it for a long time. So they're doing something right. But we wanted to for it to be a more intimate type of give back, like where we're able to meet the family. And that was one of the things that Make a Wish. It depended on the family, and in most cases, we were lucky, at least with the first two families that they had given us, where we were able to establish that relationship with those families that we gave back to. Because at
Okay.
the end of the day, we love to see where everything is going. Be very transparent.
Yeah.
That's been our motto from the get.
Yeah. And I can imagine how frustrating it could be. It's not you guys, it's never for you guys especially. It's never about we want people to see us. We want to shine a spotlight on what we're doing. It's never about that. But I can imagine how frustrating it is, the idea that you want to give back and you find something to give back to, but then you're told, well, we need to handle that. You just give us the money, or you just get we need to handle that end of it because that's what we do. And it's like, well, what am I here for? So I that makes complete sense why you guys have honed it down, homebound, within your area for sure. Just direct tie-in with your community. Then that's
Exactly.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, well, let's see. Um, if you can, let's start out talking kind of like, uh, what. First of all, I got to ask this because I'm just curious. Any pressure on you guys? Because hey, that world meet, and that's what it was. That world meet that you guys hosted was amazing. Do you guys feel any kind of pressure on yourselves to deliver the same goods? Just a couple years later now for DSV. I just get to ask.
Um, I feel like when it comes to us, we always put that pressure on ourselves, and we're always pushing the boundaries
Yeah,
and the expectations. So when people expect something from us, we usually tend to just go past that expectation. And it's just in our nature. It's not to boast about it, and it's just, it's a Miami thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's something down here that it's in the water, and yeah, but it just is. It's hard to explain or put it into words, but it's one of those things where, yeah, we don't feel it's more that we put the pressure on us,
yeah, I
and
get it. I get it. Well, I've never.
and we've set the bar. Yeah,
Yeah, you have set a bar for sure. And I don't get. I've never heard anyone say anything negative or that they didn't have a good time or it wasn't a really memorable weekend at one of your events. So I think that says a lot. And as big as the events have been and far reaching as far as the wide number of people that have come, but just and then all the different aspects, and we'll talk about that in just a second here, that you guys like to include in the weekend. Yeah, it says a lot. So congratulations on the past experiences and the past successes, but I'm excited for you for this year, man. It's going to be exciting. Um,
definitely.
let's just jump right in. When does DSV weekend start for you guys? Do you have people arriving midweek? Do you have some kind of informal events planned earlier in the week than Friday, or how things starting out for you guys?
Yeah, so this time around, with DSV, I'm sure we're gonna have folks coming in, brothers coming in on Thursday. For the most part, if that's kind of like side note type of stuff where they'll hit a few of us up to just hang out. Um, but for the most part, Friday, April 21st, it's all hands on deck. That's the official start of DSV for us.
All right. So it's starting off on Friday. And one of the things that I think is really unique, that you guys now have done the last two times, I remember at the previous meet as well. Um, you guys have the beard comp on Friday. It's kind of like a lead-in thing. It's not the thing. and it's a cool take. It's a cool way to push the weekend forward. So tell us a little bit about what's going on at Unbranded on Friday.
Yep. So Friday, April 21st from 4 to 12, we're going to be at Unbranded Brewery, which is the home brewery, or basically that's where we hold our meetings. We're going to have beer comp, which has 5 categories. We're also going to have free beer trims. All right. Yes, we are going to have free beer trims courtesy of Wall Grooming. For those of you that don't know the backstory on Wall Grooming and us, I participated last year in their benevolent beards contest. Unfortunately, I came in, I think, second place or third place. Uh, but we still held that relationship. They reached out about a month and a half ago and asked me if we were doing anything in the upcoming months. And I told them about the DSV, and I told them about that April 21st. It was perfect. It all lined up. So, yes, so we're going to have free beard trims by Wall Barbers. Actually, 2 of our barbers are going to be helping out trimming beards. So, for every trim that the barbers do, $100 goes straight to our charity. So, up until $5,000, which we're excited about. And also, we're going to have our official beer release.
That's
This
just
time
so
around, it's going
me.
to be a lager. Yeah, it's going to be a lager. It's going to be easy on the stomach, easier to digest, and more flavorful. So, yeah, we're excited about it. Friday is definitely going to be an exciting day. If those of you that still have thoughts about coming, I suggest you look for or find a way to drive down here because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. Do I take that then that you the beer last time around wasn't your favorite, or was that the case for some people?
It's drinking beer sometimes it's like nowadays with all the craft beers that there are, it's like an acquired taste for some people. I personally like the beer. I know some people are like, it's a little heavy, but at the end
Yeah,
of the day, it's all for a good cause. So, and we've been fortunate enough that Unbranded has always been there for us when it comes to that and has never said no. And this time around, this beer that they're brewing for us is going to be a year-round beer. So it's going to be a lager, and it's going to be on tap year-round, and
that's
a proceed
amazing.
of every purchase at Unbranded is going to be going towards the Villain's Wish. So we're excited. It's it's a game breaker. Like
Oh
definitely,
my,
I'm excited about that.
yeah, no kidding. I mean, the fact that you have, and it doesn't matter if you only if after the event's done and over the course of the next few months, if there's only 20, 30 of those sold, that's just 20, 30 extra beers worth of proceeds that are coming back into Villain's Wish year round on a continual basis. That's
Exactly.
amazing. That's an incredible partnership there. How lucky
Yeah,
is that?
definitely.
That is so cool. But I got to go back for a second. The wall grooming thing, that $100 for every trim they're going to donate back.
Yeah,
Wow.
up until five $5,000. So, if
Still,
50 people show up, there you go.
there's your 5,000 right
So,
right back to you, man.
exactly.
That's an incredible thing. So, if anybody's listening, then let's do this. Keep in mind, you'll have professional barbers there. So, hey, couple weeks out, don't worry about the beard trim at this point. You're a couple weeks out. You might as well just wait to do it to get there and just help these guys be absolutely sure that they're going to get that full 50 people getting a beard trim. And hey, if you've got a family member that's not going to compete, that's not a villain, that has kind of a scraggly old, uh, you know, Joe Dirt beard, bring them along and make sure that they get a beard trim as well. And hey,
It's
it'll
free.
it'll all
So,
count. It's free and it all counts. So got to ensure that you guys get those 50 for sure. What a cool thing is that? Man, wow, that's awesome. Is the beer you're drinking there, is that a sample that you have already on hand from the beer? Is it by chance?
I don't know.
Oh, Look at
Can't
that.
divulge too
Can't
much
divulge.
information.
All right, we know it's not a standard beer for sure. Is that a new is that a new glass there too by chance?
We're experimenting. This was by one of our brothers, Benny. Shout out to him for
Oh,
putting it together. We're thinking about coming out with some, glassware that'll, I think there's going to be a lot of brothers that are going to like it. It's pretty cool.
I think that's something you should definitely investigate, and you and I need to be talking because I need to. I need many, many, many more villain glasses. So hard to find. There's not too many people doing them because it's hard to get it so that it makes sense it's not cost effective for a lot of places. Depending on where you're
Yeah,
at in the
no,
world.
it's
So
yeah, and we're gonna have some new merch. We're excited to drop some of that merch next week. So if you're listening, stay tuned because we're gonna be dropping some new stuff that we have never done before, and some stuff that we've done before that people have asked repeatedly for us to drop. AKA,
hmm. All right. Now let's see.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, I get you. Let's see. I'm just thinking generalized questions now that you brought that up. Are these things that will be pre-order, or these things that will be buy them while you can because they'll be gone again?
Uh, some of the stuff is buy them while you can because they won't be put back up. So,
Okay.
and remember that all the proceeds will always continue to go to our Gunners Wish, and that's basically why we put merch out. Besides, it looks cool, and besides
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff that we like to wear, it's the proceeds behind it. So,
One of my favorite things, and it's so simple and dumb. One of my favorite things that I have,
oof,
and I
we
don't
might
even
have
use. I
we might
don't
have
even
something
have it
like
as
that.
a yeah. I don't even use it as like a towel for drying off. I don't want to ruin the logo that's on it by washing it a bunch. So it sits down here in the studio, and it's my cover for my soundboard. So I use it
Yeah,
to
it's
cut.
pretty cool.
It's my dust cover for that. So it sits on there all the time. But yeah, that's it's a cool little artifact that I love. So all right. Well, let's get into the real unique part for your event weekend. Do we cover everything for Friday? I think we did. Uh,
Yeah, for the most part, yeah,
Personalized beer,
that's everything.
beer, and a beard comp. There are. I will say this. I looked it up, and this I think is a cool thing. If you're a really huge uh, beard comp guy, don't don't get too upset. Sometimes the guys that really, and we don't in BV, it doesn't seem like we have a whole lot of those guys because they just go and it's beard comp for charity and no big deal. If I win, I win. But if you are a guy that really likes to compete and really likes the rules part of it, don't get too upset when you realize that the beard categories, they only have 5 of them for this event. And uh, you're going to get lumped in with a bunch of people with different sizes because of that. But don't worry about that because it's not about winning competition stuff for this. This is the way that Miami does these beard comps. It's a blast. It's fun. You won't even care if you lose, win, or otherwise. It's just fun. I say that from experience. So just so if anybody has any questions, I just want to read through them so that they know that they're there. It's just best groomed under 6, best groomed over 6, natural beard with style mustache, full beard, freestyle, and then whiskerina. Just those 5 categories. You got to get on FHL because they're using FHL. So get pre-registered with the FHL app. Everybody should have that by now, and it's very simple to do. Create your little profile on there. And it's really cool, not only for the ease of the guys running the event, but also the judges and everybody else. If it works right, every once in a while there's a snafu. Um, while I'm thinking about it, do you guys have a list of judges that you can announce who you have for your judges that night?
So right now we got about 3 judges. One of them everybody knows, Mr. Phil, our brother, and the other 2 are going to be local barbers, very well known local artists also. Um, so it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting. These guys have judged before, and some of them judged at the world meet, at the international meet.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Cool. All right. So let's get off Friday night and into Saturday. Now, describe to everybody, if you can, what Saturday is going to entail.
Saturday, April 22nd, is going to be a movie. That's pretty much, um, if anybody was here for the international meet, we're going to be doing it again at the Blue Lagoon. It's a man-made lagoon in the middle of Miami, literally. And it's going to be all outside. We're going to have Cuban food. We're going to have music. We're going to have vendors out there. Our beer is going to be out there also. Um, the lagoon is huge. It's huge. For those of you that were here for the international meet, you can, you could ask the brothers that were here, and it's exciting. It's, anything outside and the outside of Miami is, you know, is exciting outdoors. So
Yeah. It it's like it's its own resort, and it's crazy to think that it's like in somebody's backyard. Essentially, is what it is. We drove. Oh, that reminds me. Do you guys still have the shuttle thing, or is that already taken for, spoken for, or are you doing that again?
yeah, so we're right now in the process of figuring out transportation.
Okay.
For sure, we're gonna have some form of it. If we don't, we'll figure it out. It's, you know how we do.
Yeah.
We'll put something together. We'll figure it out to make sure that it accommodates everybody.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we didn't do the shuttle last time. We drove, and there was a car. We took like 5 of us in a car. It was easy to find, easy to park for us anyway. I didn't think it was hard at all. And the cool thing about doing it that way was we were able to come and go. If we needed to take off, if we weren't dependent upon the big bus, but you didn't want to leave because it's like paradise there, and it's the coolest thing. It just does not look like it. I mean, once you walk down that drive,
Yeah,
it's like you walked into, like you said, a movie. It's all of a sudden there's this huge lagoon that doesn't seem like it belongs where it is, um, and it's just enormous. It's got it's paradise. Truly, it's like a tropical
yeah,
paradise right there in the middle of nowhere.
yeah. Anybody that's listening that's actually coming, I suggest bring water shoes just so that you don't get cut on the rocks. That's definitely a must. And it's gonna be great. It's the last time for anybody that was here. Everybody had a great time. It was amazing. And this time around, the food is gonna be amazing. It's Cuban food, so you can't beat that. You're in Miami eating Cuban food outside by the water with
Yeah,
drinks, with live music, chilling with your brothers. It's yeah,
forget about that, man. That's
definitely
awesome. Forget about it.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited, man. I'm excited even though I'm not going because I'm disappointed, but I know that there's a bunch of people that are going for the first time, and I'm excited to. I've been trying to tell them you have no idea what you're going to experience. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see. You're going to feel like you should have paid to go to a full-on weekend resort to go to this place, and you're gonna be amazed. So it's going to be an awesome weekend. I'm excited for you guys. How cool is it that you have these partnerships that you guys have developed now? As we learned last week or last episode, boys and girls, Danny reminded us this is not something that Miami does just willy-nilly. This is not something they just turned around one day and said, "Hey, we want to do this," and all these things happen and these monies are raised. You have to take all of these baby steps. This conversation is a perfect example of what he talked about in the previous episode, where, as Ray's is talking about, there are relationships that have been founded, there have been developed, been nurtured over the years, not days, not weeks, not months, but nurtured over all this time that these guys have been doing these things. They've been putting in the work, And it's only because of all that work that they put in that now they're able to do these events in the way that they have for so long and so successfully. So don't think that this is something you can't do, but please remember, you got to put in the work. You got to put in those baby steps, and you got to, as he said, you got to eat the shit first to get to where you're at. And it doesn't come easy. It takes a lot of work. So, Ray, I'm excited for you guys. This is going to be a weekend unlike any other that you've had, just with everything else that you guys have been able to attach to it and the partnerships you guys have. So I can't wait to see pictures, videos, hear from the people that are doing it for the first time, and just see where it takes you guys and what it enables you guys to do with Villain's Wish going forward.
Definitely. I appreciate it. Thank you for having us on the show again. Back-to-back episodes. So
as often as I can, man. It's good to talk to you guys. Any chance I get to come down or get someplace where you guys are hanging out, I'm always there. So love what you guys do, love what you're about, and can't wait to see where you guys go in the future, man.
Sounds good, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, you have a good night, and like I said, good luck in the coming days. Don't stress out too much in the next week or so while you're prepping. Enjoy that beer too.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, brother.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was Ray, and that is the prep for DSV 2023 down in Miami. Such a cool weekend that's going to be. Yeah. Just bummed. Excited for everybody else that's going, though. Hey, here's a fun question. Anybody know why I don't have the Miami beer in hand, but since I was on vacation down in Florida last week, we don't have access here in northern Indiana to this delicious beer that I tried for the very first time years ago in Puerto Rico. But it starts with an M, ends with an A, and is apparently only sold in these 10-ounce cans, which, okay, I understand, but I don't like for the size of the beer can, but I love the fact that it's such a tiny little can. It makes my hand feel like I'm a giant. So I don't know. I'm just crazy that way, I guess. Well, hey, those of you who are still here, I appreciate you so much for being here. Take some time out on a Thursday night. And we're going to go into this weekend with good spirits and finding ways to make differences in other people's lives. Hopefully, doing the best you can to make your life the best you can. Live, laugh, love, do all that good stuff. But hey, you know what it means when I play this song here? It's gonna be wrap up time. It's gonna be wrap up time, guys. That's gonna do it for episode 172 of The Heart of a Villain. Guys, as I always used to remind you, I wanted to say, to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I say every weekend, I've been saying them for years now, remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So guys, have a great night. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. I will see you back here for episode 173 next week. Till then, take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we win.